Hello guys, this is Latinelta FPL with fantasy FPL content. Today we will be discussing the points results from game week 4 and plans for game week 5, as well as a list of players to keep an eye on after an international break. So let's start. First, we'll start with our backline, work our way up where Trent Alexander-Arnold, Liverpool got trashed down by Aston Villa in a spectacular fashion. That was crazy. We're renovated. Ollie Watkins put on a show with a hat trick, 7-2. Trent absolutely made no returns whatsoever and instead had a -1 overall after his team had 7 goals in. Now, Mitchell got 0 points and Justin James got only one after another surprising defeat to West Ham 3-0. Very surprising result there. And speaking of surprises, well, what about another cliche for McCarthy and Southampton? With another cliche and 2 bonus points. Believe me, this guy has put in on the points for me at the back, which is great. Basically carrying my entire backline and doing all the work this week where my entire backline got 9 points. Well, now let's start with our midfield, where some player exploded to give their team a victory, and other ones where they could have definitely done better. But yet again, the golden boy, my boy, yes, James Rodriguez, JR19, put in an MVP golden performance this time with 2 goals as a right wing and setting up another to his Colombian teammate Jerry Mina to make the first pure Colombian goal in the Premier League with smell of coffee in there. Oh man, you can tell this is not going to be the only time the pair will connect, especially given James' ability on the set pieces and Mina's height. You know they're definitely gonna connect more in the season. And another player that definitely exploded to give his team the victory was, yes, you guessed it, Alan San Maximin. Well, for me, it was my silent pick in there. Definitely a bargain there on my team. I put him on my team and my fate paid off as he got 1 goal and 1 assist and 2 bonus points as the Toonies beat up Burnley 3-1 and slowly Newcastle making up the ground there. And believe me, after picking up Fraser Wilson and with some of the players on their squad, don't sleep on them. They're making it work. So now after 2 players and exciting 30 points. Well, let's look up the second option here. Well, yeah, it was Mo Salah. I mean, he did get a brace. All the respect after that incredible Liverpool's destructive heavy loss 7-2 to Aston Villa. Of all the teams in there, that was definitely crazy to watch there. But I mean, he got 2 goals. So it's between my 3 players. I'm looking at 43 points, which is lovely to see. You know, we're looking almost like 14 points per average until Kevin De Bruyne will have to run it. And again, just my captain choices just hasn't been the best. But you know what? I just gotta keep on trying like this. On my midfield, it was another disappointing KDB outing. He seems to be out. And to be honest, it seems like the player is very fatigued. And he's mentioned before that over the last 2 years, he barely had any time for holidays. So I believe he's just literally really fatigued at the moment and just very tired. From my impression, as he also had to go home earlier from his national team camp, where he will play on the FIFA qualifiers, or on this time the FIFA Nations League. So leaving the question to replace it right away or keeping fear another city asset. And to be honest, with the funds from KDB, I might have to look somewhere else. So now from our front line, we can see now a rare triple blank where none of my strikers scored, and honestly just make me regretting bringing Inks the last time. I guess one of the poorest defenses in the league, and I was like, really, man? But I mean, overall, it was definitely a good overall outline, especially at my amazing midfield from an okay the back line. But honestly, my front line was almost invisible. We had the following points in there from a total of 62, looking at an average of 48 points, which is definitely great to see. Definitely some good points to gain ground in there from a total of 192. And obviously a nice green arrow to 3.2 million despite our slow start here. It definitely paid off some of the picks that I made, like Allen San Maximan, alias Gucci Mane. This guy definitely paid off. Some surprise points from McCarthy, and honestly, it's about keeping being positive in there, taking a look some possible different details of information. And yeah, it's good to see that we're making up grounds on there. Okay, so there are great points made this week, game week. There are lots to make up, points ahead, and definitely more information to be collected. And of course, yes, we have our rank here. Keep in mind, we also have our chips available, so this is definitely great to see because with this we can definitely do marbles in the future. Again, our entire front line blank, but yeah, we could definitely make some changes because so far our midfield paid out, and so far it seems like formations with more midfielders may be the way to go. So interesting item in there. Okay, so after the points from the game week 4, we have some useful details here from our game week 5 and onwards with the FDR, the fixture difficulty rating, where you can see what teams are playing against what other teams, and we can definitely see that Crystal Palace has an amazing run on games, which is definitely great to see. Some of the interesting, like Fulham, not so much. But honestly, for me, definitely the teams to watch regarding the fixture difficulty rating are definitely Spurs. The next 4 games looking definitely really good in there. Crystal Palace, Saha could be an interesting option in there, maybe, who knows. And Chelsea, honestly, the way I see Manchester United at the moment, I do not see them changing or steering the team really soon. They're gonna take some time, and I feel like Lampard is just looking to pick up what arsenal of his entire lineup he's gonna use now. He has so many tools at his disposal. He's just looking for time to gel, and believe me, Chelsea are looking like an absolute weapon with all those destructive lineups that he could come up with, especially Pulisic and Ziyech coming back to the lineup. There are definitely teams to watch in there. For our next part of the video, we have definitely the Eagle Watch, definitely the list of players to keep an eye on. And definitely take a look at them, especially you'll be asking, who's this guy? Yes, our golden boy, now golden status on the Eagle Watch. Yes, James Rodriguez, our golden boy. And honestly, I don't know what you're doing again if you don't have this guy, or at least Dominic Calvert-Lewin. If you don't have this guy, I don't know what you're doing, man. Like, just quit. You need to have this guy on your team. This guy is like the bargain midfielder of the season. You definitely need to have this guy on your team. And as well of another few items to keep an eye on. What is it? Yes, another Lampard shuffle coming up. Yes. Now, most of the Chelsea's assets are back from injury. So they have Mason Mount, Pulisic, Ziyech, Havertz, Werner. So now Lampard has a tough decision having to shuffle the entire Lambo team Champions League and this. So it's definitely gonna be interesting what he's gonna use. And believe me, Chelsea with their promising runners fixture, they're looking like the team to watch. And another fixture to watch, like the Merseyside Derby from Liverpool and Everton, we have Grealish versus Barnes, which is, yes, the villains versus the foxes in there. So yeah, we're definitely looking at a very tough matchup, which is gonna decide if Aston Villa are getting lucky or if they have what it takes, or basically Leicester, do they have what it takes to keep on top of the table or not choke like they did last season in the Champions League lineup. But guess what? Guess what that is? Yes, our surprise pick for the day. Our wild pick. Yes, it's coming up. What is it? Yes, it's Wilson. Callum Wilson. For me, this is gonna be my pick to score against Manchester United. Manchester United looks like a circus at the back. So for me, he's gonna score. Or I'm putting any Toonie like Alan and Maximum on my team. He could score. Maybe who knows? Hendrick could score. Fraser. They have a lot of very, very interesting pickups. So they're very cheap. They have a good run of fixtures later on, but you might wanna take a look to see how they pan against Man U. I mean, Van de Beek looks okay, so we'll see how it goes from there. So for our next part of the video, we got the game week 4 notes and game week 5 plan. So for our plan A, we got switch Kevin De Bruyne for Heung-min Son and leaving just the team as it is with no penalty points. One free transfer will make it easier. And now our second plan, plan B, will basically switch KDB for Son and take out with those extra funds, or take out Ings for a usually like an upgrade, or maybe a cheaper striker like Callum Wilson or Tammy Abraham. The thing is that Wilson is that sometimes he scores, sometimes he doesn't. It's kind of like a troll. But Tammy Abraham is spending that Lampard shuffle. Now he's got Pulisic, he's got Sieg, he's got Werner, he has Havertz, he has Euro and Tammy Abraham. So Lampard has a lot in his hands to play with. So he's definitely got lots of weapons to use. But my idea is that so far, for me, it seems like Tammy Abraham has been the most effective playing on for Lampard's team, because he's a holding striker. He's pretty tall, at 6'5". He's also pretty mobile, a lot more mobile than Giroud. He's very slow. I mean, Giroud, looking at the balls, like they say for France, it definitely works. He's that holding striker, holds the ball, drops back, creates game right around him. So he's definitely good in that regard. The issue here is how mobile and effective can he be, right, in his next game. So maybe it's worth taking a lie on. But now looking at hard details here, we got some news. What are those news? Well, turns out that yes, Cristiano Ronaldo tested positive for COVID-19 for one of the tests, and some FPL assets could be affected, including, of course, you guys can see in the picture, Joao Cancelo from Manchester City, Ricky Bernardo Silva. Okay, could have been affected in there, and also Penandes, so who knows, Bruno Penandes, so maybe they could be compromised. Who knows? Maybe not. So let's take an eye on some other details like Liverpool. They got Thiago, they got Mane Anderson back. Yes, the issue for the MerseySide Derby, they also have Adrian on net, which means Alisson's still injured. Which that's why Klaus face like, oh man, we still got Adrian. Okay, so there's a lot to watch out on the top of the table again on that MerseySide Derby. And believe me, he has been one of the historic seasons for Everton, and one of the best stars of all time for the Toffees. So there's a lot on the line, okay, in the Merseyside Derby. So it's gonna be an exciting match nonetheless. Again, some of the players in there could be affected. Besides that, well, thank you for watching my video. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. This is Latin Delta FPL. I'm out.